Welcome to module 4 of Python, that is called data structures. What we will do in this module, we'll talk about it, but before that, what we have done so far, we are done with decision making, that is if else and if else if like statements. Then we are done with the loops, both type of loops, for loop, while loop. We are also done with the error handling as well. If you are a little bit confused about any of these things, you should do a lot of practice, but if you're stuck anywhere, then you can surely reach out to our support team as well. Okay, so in this module we are going to talk about lists, tuple, and dictionaries. You may be wondering that, hey, we have already talked about these things, but at that time I mentioned that we are briefly looking into these things. But here in this module we'll be diving deep into a few functionalities of lists and dictionaries. Moreover, I'll not be talking about tuples. Why? Because as I mentioned earlier in the initial modules, that tuples are just immutable form of lists. Immutable means that they are not changeable after they are created. And moreover, that is sort of a homework. That would be sort of a homework for you guys, because we'll be covering lists in detail, we'll be covering dictionaries in details. So just following the same lines, you can discover more about tuples and sets by yourself, right? So let's get started with lists. Okay, so we have a lot of different functionalities available in lists. For example, we can perform sum operation on the list. We can perform sortings on the list. We can check out the type of of any variable, obviously not just for the list, but just to make sure if it is a list or dictionary or what. We can make use of this type function. We can make use of append function, extend, index, max, min, and a lot of function that we have on second page as well. But before we talk about all of these functions, that would make us confused. So let's go one by one. So let's talk about sum and sort function first. So what is this sum function? Sum function can add all the elements that are available inside a list, right? So where it is, yeah. Okay, so let's define a list first. So let's say LST, and LST is going to be any random numbers, 2, 6, 1, 7, 3, 0, again 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now if I say sum of LST, so it will count all the numbers and it will take its sum, right? So if I run it, here we go. So the sum of all these numbers is 20. You can check it out at your end as well. By the way, what if I ask you to calculate the sum of this numbers inside this list by yourself? Don't use this method, don't use this function, but do it at your end by using loop. Where is for loop? Yeah, by using for loop, just like this. How can you do that? But first question is, can you do that? Let me quickly do that for you guys, right? So let me add a cell over here. Okay, so I'll say for I in LST, let's not make it fruit, let's make it I. Okay, so I is going to be the element at each iteration element of this list, right? And I also have to have a result variable that will be initialized by 0, right? So here I'll say result equals to result plus equals to I, and that's about it. That's a one line code, and then here I'll print out the result. If I run it, here we go, you can see the result is 20, right? I hope you guys are able to understand this code. So this functionality is basically implemented inside this sum function that is available for the list and other iteratables as well. The second function was sort. We can also sort this list as well, right? So for example, if I say LST dot sort, and then I'll print out the list, and here we go. So you can see the list is sorted in ascending order. But what if I want to sort out the list in descending order, which means the largest number at first? Well, I don't know. So let's take help. So I want to take help for LST. Okay, so it has opened up all the methods for us. So I'll go to the sort method. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so in sort method, there's a keyword called reverse. So reverse equals to false. So if I'll make reverse equals to false, it says that the reverse flag can be set to sort in descending order. So by default it is false. So since I want to make it reverse, so I'll make it true. How can I make it true? Simple. I'll say reverse equals to true. Now I run it. Here we go. It is sorted in reverse order. Cool. So this help method can be your very good friend. What else do we have? We have type and append and extend method. Okay, so let's talk about these. So we have a type method that helps us figuring out the types of the variables. For example, if I want to check out the type of this variable, it will tell me it is a list. Okay, I want to check out the type of, let's say, this variable, this constant, it says that it is integer. I want to check out the type of, let's say, this string, hello, it says it is a string, so on and so forth. Alright, so coming back to the list. So let's say here I have a list and I want to add some elements over here, right? That is called appending. So I'll say lst dot append, and here I'll pass that element. I'll say, let's say I want to append 100, and then I'll output the list again, and here we go, 100 is appended. What if I want to say I want to append multiple elements? Then there's a method called extend, right? So I want to extend this list. So here I'll have to provide another list. So let's say 11, 12, and 13. I want to extend the previous list by this list, right? And then I'll print it out. So here we go. So these three elements are extended. Moreover, you can join two different lists as well. So if I say lst plus, and here I'll add another list, let's say 21, 22, 23. Here we go. But this is not stored anywhere. So if I say lst, you will not see 21, 22, 23 over here. Why? Because we did not store it anywhere. So I'll have to do something like this. And then if I run it, now you can see we have it. Cool. Okay, and then we have index method with us that returns the first appearance of a particular value. Well, let's see. So if I say lst dot index, so basically it works like a find function. So I want to find the index of this 100, right? So it will get me the index of 100, that is 7. You can see we have multiple ones in it, right? So what if I want to find the index of 1? It says 4. But we also have a 1 at 5th index as well. So this index will always return us the first instance of the number. Cool. So that's about it for now. I don't want to overburden you with a lot of functions. So go ahead and play around with these functions, and I'll talk about rest of the functions in next video. We can also find the maximum or minimum values out of the list as well. But the question is how? Simply we can say max, and inside it we'll pass lst, and it will get me the maximum value in the list. So it says 100 is the maximum or the biggest value in the list. That is true. It will also get me the minimum value as well. That is 0. Yeah, great, looks fine. And then what else do we have? We have length function. I think we are already done with it. Then we have a clear function. So basically length function gets us the length of the list. Yeah, I think we covered this method for string. It also works for the list as well. So we have total 14 element in this list, right? You can check it out over here. Then we have a clear method as well. So if I say lst dot clear, okay, I'm not gonna run it, but if you will run it, what it will do is it will delete all the values in the list. Okay, so if I'll do it, all the data will be gone and I'll not be able to continue, right? So it will delete all the data inside this list. If you want to clear the list, you can use this method. Then we have insert method. So basically insert helps us in inserting a specific element to a specific location. For example, if I'll append something into this list, that will be appended at the end. But what if I want to insert something at this index, that is the 0, 1, 2, that is the second index, right? I want to insert something over here. So how can I do that? I'll say lst dot insert, and here first of all I'll have to mention the index number where I want to insert, and then I'll have to mention the value that I want to insert. So let's say at index number 2 insert 200, right? And then show me LSD. So here 0 1 2, at second index we have 200, and all of the values are pushed towards right hand side, or you can say pushed towards the higher indices, right? Then we have a count method that returns the number of elements with the required value. For example, we want to count that how many ones are there in this list, so we can do that. So lst dot count ones, right? So we have 2 ones in this list. And we have a pop function as well. Well, that is not music, that is a function. So if I say lst dot pop, right, it will delete the last element in the list. So last was 23, right? So 23 is deleted, and now if I'll output the list, so you can see there is no 23 at the end. If I'll run it again, so now the last element was 22, and if I'll run it, if I'll output it again, so you can see there is no 22 anymore. Rest in peace 22. Finally, we have the reverse function that reverses the order of the list. For example, if I want to say 22 should be at the beginning, 13 should be at the first index, 12 should be at the second index, 11 should be at the third index, and so on and so forth, and 7 should be at the last index. All I have to do is I'll have to say lst dot reverse, and if I output, here we go. So you can see now this list is exactly the reverse of this list, right? Okay, so that's about it. You can find a lot more functionality of the list by yourself. But one thing that I would really appreciate if you can do it at your end. All the functions that we have, almost all the functions that we have implemented over here, especially this max function, min function, length function, what else? We have this insert function, we have the pop function, reverse function. We can implement also this count function. We can implement these functions, these built-in functions, by ourselves as well, by using while loop or maybe for loop. So it would be a good assignment, or you can say it would be a very good thing for you to practice it at your end in order to master the skill of Python, right? So I would really expect you guys to do it at yourself. Okay, so we have talked about lists so far. Let's talk about dictionary now. What are the functionalities that we have available for the dictionary? So here we can modify the values that are available in the dictionary, and we had done that previously as well, if you remember, right? So for example, if we have a dictionary called my_dict, and the key is banana, so we don't know what was the previous value, but the new value of banana would be 7 from now to onwards. We can add new values to the existing dictionary as well, a new key value pair. How we can do that? So first of all, we will write the name of the dictionary. Then inside the braces, we will write the new key equals to the new value that will correspond to that particular key. Well, you might be confused that, hey, do it practically. So here we go. So I'll say my_dict. Okay. So first of all, I need to define my dictionary. So I'll say I have apples. How many apples do I have? Let's say I have 5 apples. Then I have bananas. How many bananas do we have? 7. And that's it. That's the dictionary that we have, right? So now if I want, let me also output the dictionary as well so that things get more clearer. So now let's say if I say now I have, let's say, not 7 but 11 bananas. So I'll say dictionary of bananas equals to 11. Or maybe I don't know how many bananas we had previously. I just have 4 more bananas. So instead of saying 12, I can also say something like dictionary of bananas equals to dictionary of bananas plus 4. So the previous value plus 4, right? And then we can say my dictionary. So here we go. So now the total count of banana is 11, right? Now what if now I have a few mangoes as well? So I'll say my dictionary, and here I'll say mangoes, mangoes equals to, let's say I have 10 mangoes. Now you see, previously if I do something like this and this key already exists in the dictionary, then it updates the value. But if this key does not exist previously in the dictionary, then it will add the key and allocate this value to this particular key, right? So this is a very important thing to remember. Here we go. So now I have 10 mangoes. Cool. What else can I do? I can remove the key value pair as well. So all I have to do is I'll have to say del or delete my dictionary and then the complete value. So I can say del my dictionary. So what do I want to delete from the dictionary? Let's delete apples. Okay, run it, and now let's see how this dictionary looks like. So yeah, we don't have apples anymore. We only have bananas and mangoes, right? So now maybe doctors can come near us. You may be wondering, what am I saying? You know, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So now we don't have apples, so maybe doctor can come near to us. Well, that is a lame joke. Okay, so checking key existence. We can also find if a particular key exists in our dictionary or not by saying if this apple that is in my dictionary. So we can simply check it out. If let's say apples in my dict. Sorry, we don't have to write this if over here. We can simply check it like this. So it says false because we had deleted the apples. Let's check it out for bananas. So it says true. Yeah, we have bananas in the dictionary. Cool. We can also find the length of the dictionary as well by saying len my dictionary. Here we go. Cool. So we have two values in the dictionary, bananas and mangoes. Apple is deleted, so we are left with only two values. Okay, so the next thing that we can do is we can iterate over the keys. Okay, so what if I have, let's say, let me add a few more values so that the iteration would look nice. So which fruit do you like? Grapes? I don't know. These are the spellings of grapes or no? I don't know. So let's say we have 100 grapes as well. Now what if I want to iterate over it? So it says that for key in my dictionary. That's it. So I'll have to do is for key or whatever the value in my dict, and if I say print, let's say print the key, so it will print out all the keys of my dictionaries, right? Cool. Okay, what if I just want to print only those keys that start with maybe that start with M? So if I'll say if key dot starts with STARTS, starts with, okay, this, remember this method starts with, this method was for the strings, right? And key is a string, so we can use it. So if it starts with M, then print it. Sorry, only then print it, otherwise don't print it out. Oh, colon was missing. Here we go. So only mango is printed. If I say if it starts with B, then only bananas is printed. Cool. We can also iterate over the values as well, not on. So how we can do that? So we'll say for value in my dictionary dot values, right? So not only the keys, we can also iterate over the values. For that we have to do something like dot values, right, along with braces. And since these are not the keys, so we'll say VAL, and we can simply print them out by saying VAL. Cool. So we have 11, 10 and 100. So here we have 11 mangoes, 11 bananas, 10 mangoes and 100 grapes. We can also put conditions over here as well. So if value, let's say value is greater than 10, then print it out, otherwise do not print it out. So only 11 and 10 is 11 and 100 is printed. 10 cannot be printed. Why? Because 10 is not greater than 10. 10 is equals to 10. Cool. But what if we want to iterate over both key and value? So we can do something like this. Let me do it from the beginning so that you don't get confused. So for key comma value, you can use any variable names over here. This is just a convention. In my underscore dictionary dot items, right? Now here you can play around with key and value both. So if you print out key comma value, here we go, right? So first of all, key is printed, then value is printed. I can also make it in reverse order as well. Value first value is printed and then key is printed. You can add if conditions as well according to your need as you want. Then we have further dictionary methods as well. You can use various dictionary methods like get, put, and stuff like that, right? Then we can use dictionary comprehension as well. This is something that I'm going to leave for now because we will talk about dictionary comprehension and dictionary and list comprehension as well later on when we will, after talking about the functions, right? Then we have merging. We can also merge two dictionaries, just like we merged what? We merged two lists. We also merged two strings as well. So we can also merge two dictionaries just like this. Double static dictionary number 1, and then comma, and then double static dictionary number 2, and this will be inside a flower braces. Cool. And just like the again lists, we can also clear the dictionary as well just by saying my dict dot clear, and the dictionary will be vanished. Cool. So that's about it from this module, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna leave two things up to you guys. One is explore more about tuples, and secondly explore more about sets. You can go to the official documentation of Python as well in order to explore more about it, but I would recommend you going to help method that we have used over here, right? So you can go ahead and use this help method. That will surely help you out.